Dave Stewart. Which current Sea Org member would you most like to see leave the church and start talking, other than Miscavige? Well, I would really like to see Shelley Miscavige leave. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but if somebody were to leave who would be able to produce the most damage to David Miscavige personally and Scientology as a whole, it would, without question, it would be her. The name brand, the brand recognition for one, right? She's been married to David Miscavige for all these years. And two, she's been married to David Miscavige all these years. She knows almost everything there is to know. So I am sure she would have amazing stories to tell, and she knows where the bodies are buried, so to speak, figuratively. I'm not saying literally. And she would be able to give inside skinny that no one else, not Marty Rathbun, not Mike Rinder, no one has knowledge of. So that's kind of a hands down that's a pretty easy question to answer as far as that goes. There are other people who have worked at IT management for many, many years who are in the hole, or whatever the current equivalent of the hole is. Guillaume Lesève, Ray Midoff, Heber Jensch, although he's already said he's never coming out. So they would have a great deal of knowledge about a great many things, and it would take months, years to debrief them on all the information that they have in their heads about things. But even they wouldn't hold a candle to what Shelley Miscavige would be able to say. I would also say, the question here was about Sea Org members, but I would also say, I think that actually, more damaging to Scientology than Shelley Miscavige could be. And this is a coin toss here, okay? This is a judgment call, and I'm not 100% on this. But I think if Tom Cruise were to come out, it would be game over for Scientology pretty much overnight. Really game over. Because that guy has so many people who follow him blindly. It's disappointing, even infuriating sometimes, to see the ignorance of people who are fans of celebrities and how far they will go to rationalize or justify the celebrity's bad behavior. We have documentation, we have testimony about people who have been harmed by Tom Cruise personally, who have been abused by him, who were used as basically free labor. I avoid the word slave labor, but basically. For his personal aggrandizement and help and renovations on his hangar and his house and all that. It's just ridiculous how much he takes advantage. So if he were to turn and realize the error of his ways, which I don't think he's ever going to do because the man is an utter narcissist, but if he did, that would be gigantic, huge, because millions of people would be instantly interested in what he had to say about Scientology. And all of the celebrity brainwashing that goes on just because he happens to have a nice grin and they like what he does on screen, which is not him, by the way. Tom Cruise is an extremely different person from what you see on the screen. Very different man. So they love that, and they think that's who he is, and that's not who he is at all. Anyway, if he were to actually turn, it's not so much the information he could give. He could give some, I'm sure. I'm sure he's had some very interesting private conversations with David Miscavige. But it's just the fact that he turns, and so many people listen to him, that, there would just, all the people who rationalize or think, oh, Scientology is just another religion, it's just another belief system, why are you down on him for his beliefs, when it has nothing to do with his beliefs. That's not why I have a problem with Tom Cruise. But that's what they think we, us critics, have a problem with him over. And it's not. It has nothing to do with his religious beliefs. It has to do with what he does with those beliefs, the actions he has carried out, and the actions that he supports. As the most visible Scientologist on the planet, he represents and supports an abusive, destructive, authoritarian system that is a scam. So that's who he is, for real. So if he were to actually say that that's who he was being, and recognize that that's what he was representing, and speak out against it, all those justifications and rationalizations of all his fandom would go away, and they would see, for really no other reason than he told them to, what Scientology was really all about. And they would stop with the apologism and the rationalization of it. So, all right, I think I made my point pretty clear on that. So I think those would be the people I'd like to see come out and speak out. And there you go.